Hello there. Welcome back to our video. In this video, we will talk about how to identify a young empath. A psychiatrist, a famous psychologist, and an expert on empathy, Dr. Borba thinks that today's teenagers lack empathy and that being an empathic child is very difficult, but that young empaths have so much to contribute to our world and should be valued. Actually, they have only half the empathy of earlier generations. Young empaths undoubtedly have a lot to teach their peers. Young empaths have the same skills and requirements as empathic adults, and empathic abilities are present from birth. Children's capacity for empathy, however, may show up in other ways because they have less practice understanding and expressing their emotions. Children with empathy typically prefer to play by themselves or with just one or two close friends. With kids and adults who are older than they are, they typically enjoy conversing and playing more. They don't think they are superior to their classmates. That is not the case. Young empaths, on the other hand, are unusually mature, which means they share their parents' perspective. They may claim to feel distant or withdrawn from others their own age. You might be surprised by how well empathetic a child can pick up on other people's thoughts and feelings. For instance, a work accident might cause you stress one evening as you prepare dinner for your family. When your empathic child enters the kitchen, they might see that you are upset about something that happened earlier in the day. They might give you a hug and ask you to describe in detail what or who made you feel sad. Finding the right balance between respecting their gift and giving them unsuitable information is crucial. Denying your emotions when you are upset or angry teaches your child that their intuition is unreliable, which leads to confusion and self-doubt. On the other hand, it is not necessary to divulge too much information as it might hurt them unnecessarily. A young child, for instance, doesn't need to be completely informed about a serious disease or abuse. Most of the time, it suffices to merely acknowledge the circumstances and the feelings that go along with them. Don't tell your child a lie and base it on age. Consider your options before correcting a young empath for misbehavior. Yes, they might disobey you just because they are a bad kid, but they might also react to overstimulating circumstances in their environment. Consider this scenario from a toddler's point of view. You can usually find an excuse to leave if you are being overpowered by noise or light as an understanding adult. Unluckily, a young child has lost autonomy and frequently must put up with it. If you suspect your child is empathic, don't be surprised if they occasionally act out when they feel threatened. Empathic children can either freeze up, which is why they are frequently referred as shy, or they can try to recover from the situation by creating their own noise and confusion. It's time to look a little closer if they frequently have meltdowns or tantrums. Assume the role of a detective. Take your child's complaint seriously. If they say they don't like loud noises or smells, believe them. Tell people who care about your child that they are empathic, or if the term is unfamiliar to them, that your child is unusually sensitive and needs some minor adjustment. You should, for instance, inform child care staff if your child attends that they might need to calm down if they get overwhelmed during a game that requires a lot of energy. Never use harsh punishment. Abusive methods like name-calling or yell at a young empath. These methods are harmful in and of themselves, but they are more likely to have a lasting negative effect on an empathic child. If you lose your temper, say you are sorry right away. Accept full accountability for your actions. Ensure that the empathic child has a secure place to call their own and give them permission to retreat when they require some alone time to unwind and recharge. Even if you have family or friends around, give them the 10 or 20 minutes they need in their room. After a long day, children with empathy may require more time to unwind and prepare to bed. It's best to schedule bedtime so they can unwind because they have more easily stimulated nervous system than typical kids, and it won't likely result in them falling asleep if you just tell them to close their eyes. You could, for instance, give them a bath infused with calming essential oils, read them a beloved bedtime story, and nudge them to reflect on the best parts of the day. Assist them in being prepared for life's harder realities. Taking care of an empathic child can be heartbreaking at times because of how easily their soft and kind hearts are broken when they see the suffering in the world. If and when a fight occurs in their social circle, they are also more hurt by it. Because they could never be so cruel, an empathic child might find it difficult to comprehend why other kids seem to hurt each other. As a parent or other caregiver, it is only natural and normal to want to shield the child from suffering. In spite of the fact that it might be effective in the short run, you will ultimately be harming them. When faced with the harsh realities of the world later in life, an empath who has not been taught from an early age how to use their gifts and manage their emotions is more likely to experience depression, anxiety, and confusion. Even though you are powerless to change the world, you can talk to your child about anything. Give them a chance to talk if they observe indications of stress and emotional turmoil at home or at school. Encourage them to be as honest as possible because everyone has feelings. Teaching them coping mechanisms at a young age will make them much healthier. They feel more confident because they know they can handle almost anything life throws at them.